The UN Climate Summit has started at Sharm el-Sheikh in Egypt, and this year the focus is on the implementation of the climate goals. The British Prime Minister Rishi Sunak has arrived in Egypt and is set to address the UN Climate Summit. This is after he reversed a decision to skip the conference following widespread criticism at home and abroad. Sunak met with the European Commission President Ursula von der Leyen on the sidelines of the summit. Sunak is expected to call on the governments to deliver on the promises that were made at COP26 in Glasgow a year ago. This was the time when the host nation Britain helped to broker a wide-ranging climate pact, much of which is yet to be implemented. Sunak is set to raise the case of Abdel Fattah with Egypt's leadership during the summit. Detained British-Egyptian activist Abdel Fattah is on a hunger strike for the last 219 days. He is said to have stopped drinking water from Sunday. Sana Saif, the sister of Abdel Fattah, will also be participating in COP27. Abdel Fattah rose to prominence with the 2011 Egypt uprising, but has been detained for most of the period since. He was sentenced most recently in December 2021 to 5 years on charges of spreading false news, and he has been on hunger strike for 219 days against his detention and the prison conditions. Fattah's sister saying that she is in Egypt to put pressure on all the leaders in attendance, especially the UK Prime Minister Rishi Sunak. CF has also planned an event with Amnesty International, Human Rights Watch and the German climate envoy to address her brother's case. Sunak will be among the 100 leaders speaking at COP27 and is expected to use his address today to call on the world leaders to deliver on their promises to combat the climate crisis. Sunak will also be meeting the French President Emmanuel Macron for the first time as the UK Prime Minister on Monday on the sidelines of the summit. Macron also urged the US and China to pay their fair share on the climate crisis.
We need the United States and China to really be on board. If I were to simplify things on emissions, our battle is for the richest to be present, to pay their fair share. And on this point, let's be clear, I need us to say things. The Europeans pay, but we are the only ones to pay. We also need to put pressure on the rich non-European countries to say, you have to pay your share.
Speaking at the opening of the COP27, Simon Steele, the new Executive Secretary of the UN Climate Convention, said that the conference should shift the world towards implementation of the previously agreed plans to cap global warming to 1.5 degrees Celsius.
Friends, today a new era begins, and we begin to do things differently. Paris gave us the agreement. Katowice and Glasgow gave us the plan. Sharm el-Sheikh shifts us to implementation. We must demonstrate this transformational shift to implementation, putting negotiations into concrete actions. Every corner of human activity must align with our Paris commitment of pursuing efforts to limit temperature rise to 1.5 degrees.
Meanwhile, at the COP27, much of the talk is likely to be focusing on making the rich countries pay compensation to the developing countries that are suffering the impact of climate change. The UN Climate Conference this year is also laying emphasis on accountability, and the UN climate chief minced no words when he said that the world leaders will be held to account on the promises that they have made. WION now available in your country. Download the app now. Get all the news on the move.